much. Again, that was a momentary issue for personnel matters, so, what's that? No vote was taken, no action was taken, okay. All right, at this time, I haven't done this in a while. I will entertain a motion for the approval of the bill list for July 14th, 2014.
So moved. Second.
Motion has been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Call to a vote, please.
Mr. Amendola?
Yes.
Ms. Amendola?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes, with the exception of 400.11.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Weitzel?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Joe, you there?
I'm not going to.
I did not. Not on.
I'm sorry, I was off there. Yes.
Yes. And Ms. Coates?
Yes. Okay, on the agenda, it has the approval of minutes from June 23rd. They are not available. They're incomplete at this time and should be available for the next meeting. At this time, we will entertain citizens' comments. I would like to remind everybody, when you step to the microphone, please state your name and your address clearly. And please be courteous to respect the 3-minute timeline if there's any new business. And we will have opportunity for additional citizen comments at the end of the meeting as well. And so I see here, we have quite a few. Daniel Kelly,
Here, yeah,
come on up.
I'll be the timekeeper.
okay.
3
You
minutes.
should have I've been kind of,
The clock's on.
it's a little like show and tell when you were second grade. What you're looking at is oil pan that everybody has under their car. And these are 3 different streets in Crafton. My van, got to speak in the microphone?
Yes, please.
I'll turn it
I think
on.
they
I need your address.
They want your
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. My name's Dan Kelly, I live at 7, this is on? Switch.
I think everyone can hear you.
Anyone turn the back on? I don't know.
Let me just speak loud. or-
Just speak loud for me,
Hey,
please.
my name's Dan Kelly, I live at 7 Belvedere Street, here in Crafton. I've been here 5 years, since 2009. When I came up from Florida, I spent 12 years in Florida. I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh. I brought my van with me. It's 23 years old, it's a 1991 Dodge Caravan, 207,000 miles on it. So, I live on Belvedere. I don't know if anybody's driven Belvedere, it's a one-way street. Some of these, there's there's 3 or 4 marks here, big ones. But the reason I'm here is June 25th here at Creighton Street. I've never been on Creighton. I turned off of Crafton Boulevard onto Bradford. I usually go down to donut shop when I go over to my place, and you know where St. Philip's Church over there. So I was riding a guy home, not home, but the Craft Heating. He said, go make this left, you'll be right there at Craft Heating. So we went down this road, beautiful brick, typical Crafton. In fact, somebody said it was called Banker's Row or something. Beautiful street, brick street. And towards the end of it, 2 big, huge, I didn't see them where I went in it. But the cars, it was in the morning, 7:45, cars and trucks on both sides, so you're committed to go down the center. The next day when I came back to see what happened. Anyway, I bottomed out, and it had it split the steel here, lost all the oil. And luckily I found out that I did that. I went home and parked the thing, and had a new oil pan put on. But anybody would see that, there's I don't know, garbage trucks do this to the roads for age. And then in the center, it's like coming up like Godzilla is gonna pop up through the brick or something. That's really bad. There it was. And there's other,
What
Are
is
we
your
free?
concern, sir?
well, my concern is that I had to spend $228, you know, and I'd like to know if the council would reimburse me for that money for the new oil pan. That's why I mean, if you got a sign there, I go slow, I drive slow, I'm old, I drive slow. And, you know, not only that, but not just Creighton Avenue, but there's a lot of streets. You know, I know you can't pave them all, I mean, I like the brick streets, I love Crafton. There's a lot of things Crafton offers.
Okay.
But that's-
Can you give your contact information to the?
Yeah, I have a letter here saying more or less what I said and the
Okay.
bill. Give it to who?
The borough manager. I can't promise you that we can pay the bill. That's something
Well,
that's
that's-
typically handled through the insurance, through your insurance company. But we can have the borough manager take an additional look at it for us, okay?
Where's the borough manager?
Right here, this Jamie Beachy.
Okay. Is she leaving or something?
I just got here.
No, leaving,
Go.
leaving or something.
Well-
Moving on.
Hopefully everything.
I heard that something. All right, that's why I'm here.
Okay, thank you
Show
very
and
much.
tell, yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, thanks for your time.
Sure. Next, we have Phil Lavasser. Phil,
Yes.
do you have a new concern for us, Phil? Because I know that you're one of our active citizens, which we love, but do you have a new concern that you want to
Yeah,
share?
it's well.
Okay, 3 minutes, please. Thank you.
Good evening, my name's Phil Lavasser, 401 Clearview Avenue. I just wanted to, one, say thank you, progress on Clearview Avenue reconstruction is going swimmingly. They were able to put full depth curbs, the tree roots were not growing underneath the brick. Grade A for Marani, they're doing a great job. However, as I commented on Harris, I just wanted to discuss just the curb, you know, not the street, just the curb. I understand that most likely, with the budget in mind, Harris will not be taken care of for a while, and that's understandable, but at least the concerns were voiced. However, I wanted to address the issue of the curb. I sent a email to Ms. Vici and to President Hayes concerning the curb from there's two sycamore trees, one between my driveway and the sycamore tree at the end. And I just wanted to request that it be considered that this curb be done.
Could you push it to the side, that side, please, because the camera is right behind you. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's perfect.
All right, so we're just asking that it be considered that the curb be extended from the drain inlet up to the top sycamore tree to catch the water, make sure the water stays in the street, and that the side of the road be shorn up. As they were able to fix the other side of Harris, however, on our side, the excavation stopped at the bottom sycamore tree, and we're asking that Marani and Gateway be permitted to extend the curb up to the top sycamore tree, which would be at a cost of $22.50 to the borough. $2,000 and $2,250 to extend the curb to the top tree to complete the curb.
And do you have all this information that you can send to us? That way we can forward it to engineers.
And the borough
Perfect.
manager has that. I just wanted to show, there's exhibits for the council to look at after the meeting, and I won't take any more time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, next, we have Mary Luxbacher.
Flip-flopping.
You want to
And free.
flip-flop, and so you want who to go? And Krista Young, are you Krista?
No, I'm Andrea Markey.
Okay. Go-
Not yet?
Come on up,
Oh, okay.
Andrea. I don't think Krista will mind. Where's Krista? Do you mind? Okay, I'll be quick.
Hi, I'm Andrea Markey. I live at 38 Marion Street here in Crafton. And I was down at the borough office just a couple weeks ago ordering my compost and wood chips for my home garden, and got to talking with Mary and Jamie about growing things. And I'm not sure whose idea it was, but something happened where someone said community garden, and I said, write my name down for that. I'm super excited about it. I'd love to see that happen here. And when I went home, I got even more excited, and I thought a lot about it and started doing even some projections for revenue and writing a target list of businesses to talk to about sponsorship. And I would just love to explore that with the council and any other parties who would need to be involved, and see if we could make that work. I do think it could be a nice, obviously attractive and educational amenity for Crafton, improve some of our public spaces that maybe have fallen into a little bit of disrepair, help the kids learn about natural food, and maybe supply some goods for the food pantry, and lots of other things. So,
That's on our topic for the agenda for tonight, right?
yep.
Okay, so,
So I have a lot of detail that I've been sort of working up, and I'm not exactly sure, you know, how it's appropriate to start to let you guys know about some of that stuff. But I just wanted to throw that out there and see if we can keep talking about it.
excellent, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Okay, and so next we have Krista.
Is this even on? My name is Krista Young. I live at 50 Rogers Avenue. There's a street that runs parallel with mine, Josephine Street. It intersects with Lawson, and there's no stop sign on either one of those streets at that intersection. Fairly regularly, I almost get hit by another car coming off of Josephine Street. Last week, I had a guy chase me to my house after almost hitting me. And I would like a stop sign at the end of Josephine. I have brought some pictures. There's 4 of them. One, I'll pass them around, but one shows what it looks like during the day when everybody's at work and school. And the remaining are what it looks like once the evening comes or the weekends where everybody's at home. You can barely tell coming down Lawson that Josephine even exists. And the other 2 pictures are, what's stuck? From the Josephine angle, where when you're looking at Lawson to the left, you can't tell that there's even a car coming up the hill. And when you're looking at Lawson to the right, you can't barely see a car coming down the hill. So I would appreciate it if you guys could place a stop sign at Josephine, because most people don't even so much as yield. There are children that regularly play in that intersection, as well as enough vehicles that come down that street that shouldn't have to deal with people chasing them.
Absolutely, I hope you, call the authorities on that, so. We can pass that to Jamie, and you can look into that, or?
We do, it's actually not, that's why I asked her to come.
Oh.
It's not an ordinance, we would need to do that to put a stop sign there, so that would be council to decide to do that.
Oh, okay.
Will you
Are
please
you
take my
able
pictures?
to write
Yes,
on the back of those pictures what each of those views are before you give
I
them?
actually put them on the picture themselves,
Oh, okay,
and if there's any
okay.
question on that, I wrote Lawson left, Lawson right.
Perfect.
My phone number is 724-355-0127. Thank you.
Thank you so much
Thanks
for
for
bringing that
coming.
to our attention. Okay, Mary, do you want to talk now?
Sure.
All right, Mary Luxbacher?
Do I, am I ever quiet? All right, Mary Lexbacher, 71 Dinsmore Avenue. I wanted to reiterate that this community garden, we're really looking at quite a few, we have a lot of crazy ideas, but we think they could really work. And I think it's just a win-win situation. It would be great to partner with the school district. St. Philip's might be interested. A lot of different community groups definitely could jump onto this. We are probably looking at the planning during the winter months and then looking at it during the summer or the spring of next year to really get going. Now, the second thing is the Clearview Trail. And my concern is the continued degradation of the hillside. In particular, I was just up there yesterday and I'm taking another walk with some other tree commission members tomorrow. The one hillside, kind of under where Philip lives, is like devoid of any vegetation at this point, and it's almost like a sheer drop,
Okay.
which looks kind of scary. I mean, so I really think that's something Crafton's going to have to put some money into. I mean, at this point, we've been letting the weeds do the work.
Is
But
this something that the Shade and Tree Commission can, I know they're
Well-
active in planting around the community, is that something?
Right, well, that's one of the reasons we are looking into a Tree Vitalized grant. Already, we had submitted something, but they needed more. And we definitely would like to look into that. We're hoping to work with Duquesne Light to get some tree vouchers, because they'll be coming through the borough within the next few weeks. Fortunately and unfortunately, we will probably lose some trees, because they always have to trim. They do like a 5 or 6 year trimming. But they're really excited about it. I kind of approached them and I walked the trail with some of their people and we talked about what we wanted to do. One of the things, if you really look at the trail, if you take a walk up there, if you start at Starrett, it's horrible. And it really parallels the work that has been done. As much as we don't think, and we keep hearing, it's not, the work on the street has not been impacting the trail, it has.
Okay.
And if you look at the part that hasn't been done yet, it's a gorgeous, you feel like you're out in the middle of the woods. So it's really something that we need to look at in a serious way.
Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate your comments, thank you. Anybody else have concerns? Okay, next we'll move to our committee discussion items. Administration Committee, Nina?
I don't really have anything to add to the Public Works contract. I'm not sure if Joe wants to take that one.
Joe?
Are you there, Joe?
I'm here, yes.
Did you have anything?
Are you asking me to discuss the administration one?
Yeah, administration, Public Works contract.
Oh, yeah, the borough, you're talking about the borough building garage or the employee handbook part?
No, that's, administration on the agenda for his borough building. Hold on, Joe, we'll get back to you.
Sorry,
Borough
okay.
building, garage, and basement repair, and then also the employee handbook.
The borough building garage and basement repair is on the agenda for action this evening. This particular group has been vetted by our engineers. They do feel like the work can be done successfully at that price, so if there are any questions, please let me know.
Okay, so what, how long, I feel like there should be just some discussion before we vote. I mean, I know we're voting later, but, where is it? Whoops, I just showed my copy of the folder.
If I may,
Yes.
can I add to your comment? I was under the impression the first meeting of each month was agenda setting and not voting. I mean, we have some pretty substantial things on here we're voting to do tonight without any point of reference or background on them. So I would just like clarification as to why, what's changed.
That basement can wait, it's just, we have been working on that for a number of months.
Do you want to bring us up to speed on that then, just like the details, what?
Well, I do believe, obviously, everybody has seen at one point in time the garage and the basement condition. Very, very much in disrepair, very, very dangerous, getting worse by the minute. So we approached Gateway to do a set of specs for us to make sure that it was structurally appropriate. They put an RFP together and put it out to the contractors they felt could do this kind of work the way that it needed to be done and not past practice of, sort of making sure that it would just stay for another couple of years. It's a long-term fix, and of the RFP, the three bids that came back, one was approximately 66,000, one was 24, and the last was 9.5. My concern was that the great disparity in the prices that came back, but I was assured that Gateway felt as though this company could accommodate the work at that price.
Okay, and so 9 is the best price that we got on it.
I think 9.5, 9.9.
It says 9 in the motion.
Okay, 9,000.
Okay. All right, so we're up.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I think Ms. April's question was, this is a discussion.
Oh, yeah, it can wait until next time. for a vote.
And the next meeting is supposed to be
Right, correct,
Right.
yeah,
voting meeting.
That's fine.
This is an agenda-setting
Correct.
meeting.
Right.
She may not be up to date with, what was going on there, but I think we have discussed this somewhat. And we do want to get those repaired, but
it certainly can.
I think that was her question. I think
There's
she's
no,
concerned about
like, expiration to this price, right?
Yeah.
So we could push it
Well, I'm
to
sure
the
that,
voting meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
I think all the other items on there are some last minute and they need to be addressed tonight.
The employee handbook, last meeting, we had talked about making sure that everybody got to look at that and make any adaptations or adjustments or thoughts or concerns.
I don't think there's been any change to anything since April,
No.
so
And
I'm
so-
not really sure why.
Right, and at last meeting, we said we want to stop holding off on that. And by this meeting, everybody was to post their comments, and if there was no comments, then there would be no changes.
It needs to correlate with the union contract as well.
Right.
And from my point of view, as being a member of council, to vote to hire and fire auditors in one swoop with no background information, that's just, I'm very concerned with that. And with all due respect, I don't think anyone will be telling us what we need to do tonight without no background information.
Okay, so,
I agree.
that falls under administration, so, do we have background on the situation? I seem to remember a few issues and delays, with the auditing process. Nina or, Jamie, can you fill us in on that?
This is the first I'm seeing of it, so I can't speak to it, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, who on council has seen it, and knows anything about it?
The president, yes,
That's it. And the solicitor.
and the solicitor, correct.
Okay, so well, this is a discussion
Yeah,
meeting, so
let's
let's
discuss
use
it,
the
let's talk
time
about it.
to fill everybody in, so we're all on the same page.
Before Manager Callen left, he was working with the auditor to get them started. They never did commence work. Upon his departure, Mary contacted the auditor to see when they might be starting. Now, it's typical for municipal auditor to start the first week of January, so that's how far behind we were. In fact, I believe I mentioned in one of my reports that they had not yet started. Several emails back and forth from Mary to the auditor resulted in a discussion that stated that they would not start till June, which I believe I also reported. June 1st rolled around and I contacted the auditor to find out when they might be starting, at which point in time we were told that they were still waiting for information from Mary, to which I forwarded the emails that he corresponded with her to him, reminding him that he had already told us when the work would commence. He came up with a date of June 30th to start and asked if that was acceptable, and I told him while that was not favorable to us, if that's where we needed to go with that, then that would be appropriate. June 30th arrived, an email arrived in my email box stating that they were not able to start and they would let us know when they were able to.
So this case, Sabatini, did they do our audit last year?
They did previous, they did 2011.
12.
Okay, so they have done the audit before. I spoke to President Hayes. He asked me to come up with a backup plan because we weren't certain what this auditor was even going to do for us. So, because they know our system, they are able to start, they are able to complete the audit. We had a history last year of having the audit late with the new firm. And here we are, history again this year.
Okay,
What
so,
I'm curious about is why did we go and get rid of this firm and go with the other?
We didn't, it's just on,
That's a decision we have
that's
to
a
make.
decision.
We have to get the
No,
audit
that's
done.
not-
When is the
that's
audit
not
due
what I
by?
wanna know.
wait.
Why we got rid of them to begin with?
I don't know that.
So HOSACs, I don't even know how to say it. That too, the new people that we were gonna use, but they are not following through on their timeline, so now we're gonna go back to the original people that we used in 11 and 12, is that right?
Only if council is okay with that, it's really just a matter of getting the audit done. And council proceeding, you know, I believe last year, council went with an RFP to entertain new firms. Because the idea is that it's good to change accounting firms from time to time, to make sure that there's a different set of eyes looking at things and making sure that everything's done in a way that is appropriate.
Okay, so then we voted for HOSAC, not
HOSAC.
we as in me, as in us.
The
but
council.
we as
Council.
we as
Council.
council.
Voted.
Okay.
And was very informed on everything. This former firm that we had, there were new things that the new firm did discover. For example, a banking account that wasn't on the prior audits.
Okay.
There's history here, so I'm very concerned
So,
what's going on.
so what we need to do is, we're at a point, since this is a discussion meeting, we're at a point where we need to make an action on this because the audit needs to be done. So,
That's the biggest issue.
But going back to someone who has not picked up on things that they should have picked up on isn't maybe the right decision either.
Perhaps
I don't know if
not.
I'm comfortable with that.
Right, and I don't disagree with that
So can
statement.
we make a motion to release that auditing firm and to go out and get another new one?
There's a RFP process.
Well, here's the thing, that is a professional service, is it not? So you really don't have to put up a bid, you just have to find someone that's reasonable.
Well, they should have municipal experience. It shouldn't obviously
Correct.
just be a regular accountant. It should
Correct.
be somebody with
But
municipal
like I said,
experience
it
that is
is
willing
a-
to do it.
Right, it is a
At this time.
professional service for the borough, so we can just go ahead and put it out.
Can we consult with other boroughs, LGA, get a recommendation?
I assume there's probably still an RFP that would remain in place, not remain in place, but the verbiage could come from that RFP if that's the route the council wanted to go.
Well, the sooner we can get somebody in here, the better, because this was supposed to be to start back in January.
It was to be completed by April 1.
Correct.
That's the timeline for,
So are we facing penalties, or are we facing anything?
it's not a penalty, but it definitely is not, it's not a good thing to continue having your audit late every year
Right.
through DCD requirements, so.
And so this firm was late last year, this year they gave us the pushback. And so, okay, so your suggestion is that we need to go with a new firm.
Based on how we collectively have been treated by this firm, in terms of their commitment to the borough, I would suggest that they weren't doing what was in the best interest of Crafton.
Well, that's
Can I back up to their letter from September of 2013, where they identify things that we need to do with QuickBooks in order to be in compliance? And I would like to know if those things were ever accounted for and done by the office.
And they weren't.
So how are we
They would
saying,
be
that-
done by the
how are we
treasurer.
saying, I'm speaking, how are we saying that we need a new auditor when what was done in the office to allow them to do the audit wasn't done?
When the conversation happened in April, they then knew that they were going to take those measures, do the changes themselves. So the accountant was now going to do those changes as opposed to the treasurer. Mr. Callen had originally engaged the treasurer to do that work, but that work did not take place. So the auditor was informed in April that that work did not take place. That's when they said that
When was council going to be informed of this?
I did tell council, that was in one of my reports, when I told everybody that the audit was not going to be
Callen was
until
aware of
July
that from the
or to
first of the
June.
year.
Pardon me?
Mr. Callen was aware of that since the first of the year.
He's been gone 4 months.
That's how long we've been working with OSAC.
Okay, so bottom line, we need to get rid of HOSAC. We can't go back to Case and Sabatini because they have issues. So we need to find somebody new. So how do we find somebody new?
And the current estimate's about $7,500 to $8,000. If we do get someone new that's never been here before, it could be up there in cost.
I'm not willing to not spend the money to have somebody who doesn't know what they're doing because they're cheaper, so.
So, all right,
I would like to ask for a written report of all the issues
okay.
with this firm.
I sent those to the president.
Okay.
Joe, are you
again,
there?
The president, I mean, we're council as a whole.
Joe? He's not there?
Yes, here,
Joe,
yes.
can you forward the timeline of history with the auditors so that we can all be on the same page?
Okay, so you want to do that now to everyone?
I don't think it would be appropriate for us to sit here and read our email while we're in discussion.
Yeah.
Let's just move this motion to the next meeting, and we can research on our, get caught up on the next, 2 weeks prior to the meeting.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. I think Jamie would agree that we can wait on this on 2 weeks. My take on this, unfortunately, they would catch a lot of people, so they're not all of this, but maybe the contract might be off. But in general, it was a good value decision for another set of eyes longer. When I asked Amy to come up with Plan B, the only Plan B we really had was to see if the previous was willing to do it. That doesn't trump the decision to, another set of odds and